Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and today I want to show you a different type of mowing equipment that can be good for areas on your property that are really hard to mow, and it could also have a real benefit for people who have limited mobility or dealing with any kind of an injury or an impairment. So if you look behind me, you can see I've got a lot of equipment, and I counted just a minute ago. I have 8 different pieces of equipment that are made to mow with. And despite having all of that, there are still a few spots on the property that are a pain to deal with. First thing I'm going to do is show you what I've got, show you the problem areas, then we'll see if we can solve it. So here we've got the big tractor with this awesome Ironcraft brush cutter. This machine is actually on loan to me, but it is too big to go in a lot of the places I need to mow. Here we have the John Deere. It's a compact tractor, fits in small spaces a little better. Here we've got the 6-foot rotary cutter that goes on the back of the John Deere tractor. It's good for big material, but it's limited by it can only go where the tractor can go, and it doesn't give you a finished cut. Here we have the Mowrator flail mower. It's going to be a very similar story to the tractor mount brush cutter, except that it does leave a finished cut. It just can't handle the big material. Here we have a mid-mount mower that goes on the tractor. I've said 100 times, I think my tractor's a little too big and too heavy to mow. I think it works good when you don't have the wheel weights on it and the fluid in the tires. It can work as a mower, but the way I have set it up, it's not ideal. Here we have the John Deere skid steer, and it goes wherever it wants, but once again, it's pretty big and it tears up the ground more than it mows it. Here we have an offset articulating boom mower for the skid steer. It can reach out quite a ways and angle up and down to match the contour of the ditch, which is pretty awesome. And here's the skid steer mount brush cutter. This can cut trees up to 4-inch diameter. Then we've got the Hustler zero-turn mower that I use for 90% of my mowing. And a zero-turn mower is the ideal type of mower. It's the fastest and most efficient, but they slide sideways on a hill. They can't really handle a hill. They can't really handle mud. They're not made for it. So for half of the areas I have to mow that I'm talking about, this Honda push mower is the best, or the only thing I've really got that can handle some of these spots. And push mower might be the perfect answer, but it is a lot of work. And for those areas where you can't get the push mower, you got the old trusty weed eater. I wanted to quickly show you what I already had so that as we go through it, I can tell you why it does or does not work on different spots. But now I want to try this new product, see if it's any good. So what we have in this box is the Mowrator electric remote controlled robot lawnmower. Now I'll tell you, I get an offer probably once a week from a company offering me a robot lawnmower. That might be surprising to you if you don't have a YouTube channel, but companies are begging you to take robot lawnmowers, and I've always turned them down. Not interested, not interested, not interested. And then I got the email for this one, and it's a little bit different, and I like this one better. So most of them that I've seen are like a Roomba for your yard. You like set up a perimeter where it mows, and it has a charging station, and you just turn it on, it mows that area. Well, I've got a zero-turn mower. I don't want to mess with that. It wouldn't do, my property's too big. It just doesn't make sense for me. This product is different. This is a 4-wheel drive lawnmower that is supposed to be able to handle a 70-degree slope. So I can mow those places that are hard to mow with any of my other equipment. And if it works the way they say it will, it could be a problem solver machine for me. And while this isn't necessarily a cheap product, that offset boom mower is like $14,000. So, and the average cost of all those mowers are $6,000 for all the different mowing equipment I've already shown. So anyway, I've done way too much talking to start this off. I'm going to get it out of the box, get it set up, and then we'll give it a run. Alright, so it looks like for setup, all I've got to do is put the wheels on it, basically. But before I start doing that, I think I should probably get this thing charging because I don't know if the battery came charged or not. So there's a little clip there, the battery lifts out. That is a big battery. I think this said it was 57 volt battery power. 56 volt, 18 amp hour battery. And this part's pretty self-explanatory. It's got this like inverter for charging it, plug it into a wall socket, push this down in to plug it in. When you want to remove it, you push this up and it kind of pushes this plug out of the battery. So I'm going to go get that plugged in, then we'll get it set up. We've also got a remote control here that needs charged. It just uses a USB-C charger. I'm going to plug that in as well. I've also got the wheels put on. That's pretty much the only assembly. You put the wheels on, and the grass flap, and the bagger if you want to use the bagger. I'm not personally big on baggers. Some people love bagging their grass. I don't. In my next test, where I compare this head-to-head with a push mower, and we measure the run time off of it, I'll probably try out the bagger. For this, I'm not going to. So the only setup that went into this was putting the wheels on, and the rear deflector only takes a second. And we've got a battery charged, and we got the remote charged. I set the battery in this way. And that clips and holds the battery in place. Then we plug the battery into the unit, that little door down, and hold the battery button for a second till it turns green. And the mower is on. Alright, we've got a mowing height adjustment here. There's 5 inches, 1 inch. We'll mow it 3 inches for what we're doing right now. So it's always hard to see angles on camera, but this is really steep, but it's only about 36 inches wide. So my mower is a lot wider than that. So the mower can't mow this short. I can have one tire up there and one down here and mow it, but if I try to go up further and cut this short, then my deck scalps, because my driveway is raised, and having the driveway raised helps keep the driveway draining and keeps water running next to it. So this is hard for me to mow. Let's see how this mower does with it. As I edit the video, I realized that I never set a price for this. This is a brand new product that is just launched. It's available right now on Kickstarter, and they have different models. I think the cheapest one I saw might have been around $1,700, and the deluxe four-wheel drive version is going to be about $4,000. You can also use this as a leaf vacuum. So it's got a ton of other features that I'm not even testing today. Mowing around this pond bank is always a chore, and I've shown several different attempts to find an easy way to do it. It's obviously way too steep to take a zero-turn mower down. I specifically got that extendable boom mower for the skid steer thinking it would be perfect for this. And it does work for mowing this, but the boom does not reach far enough. So I only get about half of it mowed with that, and I still have to take it down and mow it with the weed eater. And I've also shown myself mowing this entire perimeter of the pond just with the weed eaters. All of those methods can be made to work. What I do more than anything else is just use a regular brush cutter on the back of the tractor and angle it down really steep. But that's kind of slow and makes a little bit of a mess. So this is one of about 5 places on the property I thought this little mowing robot would be good for. And I knew it would do the opposite bank because it's not that steep. But I didn't think it would be able to mow the part you see right here. So I was pleasantly surprised. So what do I think of the Mowrator? Well, first I think what I always say is I can't give a review on the first day I get the product, because what if the battery life's terrible or whatever. But this mower is doing a better job than I thought it would. I had a little bit of problems with the obstacle avoidance, or it would fault out sometimes when I got down it like into the pond and it couldn't go for a second. If it got a little bit stuck, I'd have to shut it off and turn it back on. There's a ton of settings in the menu that I was afraid to mess with. So I'm going to contact the manufacturer, ask them if there's an easier way to reset it, or if I should do anything different with the settings. What I can tell you is, I had high hopes for this mower, but I didn't think it could go down that pond banks where we were going. I don't know how well you could see it, but those were straight drop-offs almost. On the side where we normally sit to fish, it's a gradual run-in. My thought was I could use this to mow those spots. I never thought I could do the other side, but it did it. For what it is, I was impressed with the way it handled those banks. I just got told that I'm about to be late for something I was already supposed to know that I was going to. And so I got to go get cleaned up real quick and go into town. But I'll have a follow-up video on this mower, let you know what I think of it. I'll also put links in the description where you can find out more information about one of these or order one or anything you want to do. And I do think that this type of technology definitely has a place in our future for mowing hard-to-reach areas. So I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.